Hey, we are back with Band of Blades. And we have found a way out of Fort Callisto and are moving in on the last leg towards Skydagger Keep. Pretty exciting. I am Mikael. This is my stream. My pronouns are they, them. I am very excited for this session as usual. I'm, if possible, even less prepared than I was last session. But Commander Jim has chosen a special mission. So Strass and company has done all the preparation I need. So that's going to be awesome. Also a very interesting mission, so I'm looking forward to that. Today I have with me this nice crew of people who are gonna can introduce themselves. So if you want to start, Tom.
Hi, I'm Tom. I'm back from a fortnight ago. I missed last week due to work, but I'm happy to be here again. Ready to make some stories.
You want to go next, Jim?
Yeah, I'm Jim Crocker. Folks that know me from outside of this stream, I play a whole lot on the Gauntlet. I run a bunch of games there, and I'm a gaming retailer. You can see over my shoulders here, I have a whole lot of role-playing games because I sell them, and then that is how I make a living for myself. So I go around to conventions all up and down the East Coast and near Midwest. I'll be at Drumation next week, and then at PAX East the week after that. But during the week, one of the great things about having a weekend job is that during the daytime, in Eastern time, I can play with Mikkel, which I really love, and all my Eurozone friends, which is just fantastic. So I'm really happy to be here. I'm really looking forward to meeting the person who we are going to rescue this week, who I've arbitrarily decided is the commander's uncle. So we'll see how all that rattles out. Looking forward to it.
Cool. You want to go next, Matthias?
Yeah, hi, I'm Matthias. He, him pronouns. And yeah, a super exciting thing is we can just see the end creeping up there with Skydagger Keep. Not quite there yet, but I'm excited where this is all going. And yeah, special mission, always good. It's going to be good times tonight.
Or bad times, we will see.
And I'll also have a good time.
Yeah. Lastly, you want to introduce yourself, Joel?
Hey, I'm Joel Van Dyne. I use she, her pronouns. And like everybody else, I'm really excited for this mission. I love that it's the commander's uncle. I'm always here for the high personal stakes and the drama. But I don't know. I think I'm not like Matthias. If bad things happen, I might cry. But still excited. It'll probably be okay. Secondary mission, I don't know. But
yeah. I'm all here to say feels are welcome. We've been talking a little bit about that after the stream last time. That we're like starting to get to the end of this campaign, and it's a lot of things connected to that. Like there's a lot of stories that we have started that we won't be able to see the ending of, and a lot of characters who we are hoping will cling on to the end. We also saw some. There was not. I don't think. Yes, it was also. It was last time we saw a character that we had seen on screen die in a secondary mission, and it's kind of no, I like that character, and well, I'm just waiting for that to happen in a primary mission. It's going to be real bad. So yeah, but first, before we get into all of that, our new lore keeper here, Tom, you're going to get to tell your first back at camp scene. So what thoughts do you have about that?
So I was thinking that maybe either a named character or just one of the soldiers or rookies we maybe haven't seen yet. He's needed to get Emilio for some reason. Perhaps he's been called upon by the commander or the marshal. And no one's seen Emilio that much since the tower came down, and he faced an apparition of the Cinder King. So I suppose the scene opens up with this soldier walking into the tent, and he sees all over the walls of the tent, all over the papers, all over the ground, books open, all just with symbols like daubed on in various, like with food, with like paint, anything, all over the walls. The same symbols he saw in the tower, very the kind of symbols that you would see like emblazoned on undead and like necromantic kind of things that the Cinder King would use, very recognizable as being bad. And immediately he runs off to get someone higher up, maybe the marshal or one of the specialists even.
Yeah, who do you think someone would run off with a problem like that? Would it be the commander or the marshal? I'm asking the table here possibly.
The commander doesn't run up to people with problems. Like, that's not a thing she does.
Sorry, I meant the soldier who walked in would run up to the commander or the marshal.
Okay.
Sorry, I mean, this is just maybe a rookie, and he's like, oh, I don't know what to do. This is above.
I think that'd be the marshal, because the marshal is the one that like hands out assignments and deals with the officers and all that kind of stuff. I feel like that is like the commander has a buffer. Like the commander has basically like, you know, a little squad of her own that, you know, kind of keeps, you know, like she's got bodyguards because she's the commander. And, you know, the Cinder King would love to, you know, sneak somebody in and stick a poison dagger in her neck or something like that. So she's a little harder to get to, I think, where my suspicion is that the marshal is just, you know, roaming around and making sure, you know, the things are running smoothly, right? I mean, does that comport with your sense, Matthias, of the marshal?
Yeah, I think so. Like, definitely more accessible than our commander is. Because of the marshal has to talk to like the squad captains. We don't really have captains, but let's say the squad veterans every now and then, right? And so he's much more out and about in the camp. Should we just pick one of the rookies or one of the soldiers who's having this experience?
Yeah, and maybe also, are we having the scene as the soldier comes up to the marshal, or as they are confronting Emilio? What do you think, though?
I had the idea that maybe if the marshal's out and walking about, this soldier or hold on, let me just pick someone. If no one has any.
I mean, would this be meaty?
Descartes Weyer. So has anyone got any problems with me using Descartes? He's in the Grinning Ravens.
Yeah, the first one. Could also be meaty. I'm open for.
Yeah, it would be cool. It definitely seem like a immediate thing to do, to run to the marshal after seeing something like that.
So maybe like the marshal's just walking and this soldier, like Descartes, just slams into it, like not looking where he's going, and just like sort of bumps into him and just like falls on. He's like, Marshal, it's the doctor, man. He's all sorts of messed up.
Hold on, lad. Watch where you're going. And like the marshal looks over the rookie, and you're.
I'm sorry, sir. It's the doctor. It's his tent. There's things all over the wall. I don't.
What are you talking about? You're with the Ravens, right?
Yes, Marshal.
I think I was talking to. I want to see if we haven't because the Ghost Owls had a couple of losses, right? And there's probably a little bit we had to talk there about there. So I think I was like walking in conversation with Attica Potts. Jim, if you want to play that, who's like
sure.
a soldier now, and I give you a nod, meaning you to come with. Well, what are you talking about? Let's check that out. Weya's the name, right? You have a sister? As we're walking over. There's a Linnea Weyer also in the Grinning Ravens.
Yeah, that's right. Linnea.
Yeah. What's wrong with the apothecary?
All sorts of things painted on the inside of his tent.
I'll keep your voice down.
Things.
Let's check this out. Potts, come with.
Sir, yes, sir. And I just I do that thing where I fall in like a step behind off of your right shoulder.
Yeah.
And I've got a hand on my blade as I kind of put a hand down on my scabbard as I walk with you.
Do we just cut over to the inside of the tent and us entering through the flap?
Dacre, I imagine, is reluctant to enter the tent. Maybe he's staying by the flap in the light. But inside, it's very much like the scrawlings of a madman. I'm not sure. Should Emilio actually be there, you think?
I think
Would you rather...
I don't know. We can discuss what consequences this has, but I think for this scene at this moment, it's probably more interesting if this is like discovered and there's no immediate trace of Emilio.
Yeah. And there's maybe a few, maybe the few things that are untouched and look like are maybe some contraband that he definitely shouldn't have, like some illicit like books on ancient dark rites or something.
Yeah.
Which no one's quite sure how he got.
Sir, what does all this mean? I can't read any of this.
No, and probably best to stay away. Cordon off this tent, will you? Potts,
all right. What if Boom comes back, sir? Do I let him in or not?
Get word out that Emilio's to see me at once.
So if he shows up, I'm going to keep him from coming in and send him to you, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, done. All right. And I step outside, pop the flap, and I do that thing where I just stand in front of it, arms in front of me, hands crossed, and, in front of my belt, and just stand there in front of the entrance to the tent.
Well, stay with Potts. Yeah, I definitely in a quick wide stride with quick wide strides. I definitely leave you there, because that conversation shouldn't happen here, nor should it happen outside. It should happen in the marshal's tent or something like that. Yeah.
Cool. Is that scene?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if, the last thing that happens is it's the two of us standing there, and I turn to the rookie, and I raise an eyebrow, and I go, "You didn't touch anything in there, did you?"
I didn't even go in there, sir.
You'll probably be okay then. And then just go back to, not saying anything, yeah.
he pales a bit more.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Cool. So that leads us into the campaign phase. So first things, as usual, is that the commander has to open their sheet and note an extra time and pressure.
Commander, sheet. Pressure goes up to 3. We out of time. All right.
And the quartermaster must spend 1 food to feed the Legion, or the Legion loses 2 morale.
Okay. We got snacks.
Yep.
Nice.
Snacks consumed. Then this is where normally, if you filled up your story about the Legion, Tom, this is where you would tell that tale. But you haven't. We are 1 dead short, so we might actually. I guess it's pretty good odds that we'll get to see it next episode. And then there is campaign actions for the quartermasters to do. Which one do you have lined up there?
Okay. We're high morale, right? So I have 2, I think.
We are, yeah, we're at 8.
Yep.
Okay. So I was thinking, I don't know who we were planning to send out today, but probably a Liberty to clear some stress wouldn't hurt. And it would be boosted because it affects cadre.
Mm-hmm.
And then recruitment. For my second. This is a supply mission, but we don't actually get supply as a reward, right?
That is true. You get +3 morale and a laborer,
which is kind of fascinating, and the gratitude of the Zemyati, which is kind of a cool abstract thing that I sort of dig. That is one of the cooler rewards that we've gotten. So
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. So I do have the supply to boost the recruit if we think that would be a good idea, but supply is also worth points at the end. So it's kind of like whether or not we feel like having soldiers. Whatever the marshal thinks.
Oh, yeah, I mean, this is probably the last time it makes sense. Well, depending on the supply mission. But I guess there is fictional positioning here to say maybe a couple of the bandits did decide to leave their leader and join the Legion, right?
Yeah. Well, and there's you know, also like we're leaving the keep, so
yeah, true.
You know, it's entirely possible there's some folks who were there who are like, "Yep, get us out of here."
Yep.
I will sign on the line.
Okay. Do you want more soldiers, or are you happy with 5 rookies?
Also, actually, since last time we got a new member of the Legion,
Yes.
I'm gonna say that she is a soldier. Or they, I guess that they were their pronouns, right?
Yeah.
They are soldiers.
No, happy to have soldiers. Like, let's get a squad full of them. Like, that would be nice.
Okay. So
I don't know what that costs you or anything.
it cost me 1 supply. I have 2, so
Okay.
I have it. It's just whether or not we want 5 points at the end. But might be more useful to have soldiers.
I'm open either way. How many soldiers do we get from that then?
And then Emerald is a soldier. So 3?
3? Yeah.
and then 2 rookies.
So how many people do we get in total? I'm confused now.
I'm not sure. I guess if Mikhail, do you want to? Emerald joined the Legion before I did this recruit action. So do you want to roll her in or them into it, or
they are. I'm giving you a soldier for free.
Okay, so that's Emerald. And from the recruit action.
Yeah.
The recruit action is 5 rookies or 2 rookies and 3 soldiers.
Yeah, so by boosting it, 2 of the rookies turns into soldiers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. So 5 people total. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's cool. Okay, got you. Then we're full. Like, I don't have the names yet, but there are 2 soldiers here and there are 2 rookies here. 3 rookies in the Shattered Lions.
Yep. And then
Awesome.
my other action was a Liberty, and Cadre boosts it, so Legionnaires clear all stress and increase morale by 4.
Okay. Well, we only get 2 out of those for morale.
I think that, like, fictionally, this is probably Albrecht sees them as almost the same act, like the same thing. Like, when we came in, like, the first thing that the commander said was like, oh, we're not going to be like mouths to feed. And Albrecht, I think, is kind of like, you know, darn right, and kind of putting on a show of the Legion being like big damn heroes by like killing a broken, walking in, and then like flashing around how much like food and supplies we have.
Yeah, and I imagine maybe it also is like with the I mean, we found the route out also to get people out of here, right? So like there's a celebration or something, like the tension about everyone dying in here is kind of gone, and the people who are staying to defend, I mean, this is their last hurrah, right? Possibly.
Yeah, I mean they're dead enders.
Yeah, that's cool. It's like a proper party.
What were the bonuses from that? Does that remove stress?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that on?
That's fine. That's my job. I took care of it.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to do that. Like, that's Marshall's job to keep those numbers proper.
Yeah, so probably like the start of the episode or something, like after the text, like the intro or something, we had like this like it comes in before the intro, and then like there's like this big party going on in Fort Callisto. We like go over. Cool. And yeah, that's all your campaign actions, right?
Yep.
So and then we see the Legion advance towards the high road.
Yep.
So yeah, you roll pressure to see how much time you accumulate. You can spend, well, you can ask the quartermaster to spend horses.
Quartermaster, how many horses do we have left? We've got 3. Can we spend 2?
Can you use multiple uses?
Let's see. Roll pressure minus horses uses spent.
Yes.
Oh.
You can 1 use per pressure.
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna use 2. That means I'll be rolling at 1 pressure. Let's see how that goes. Oh, there it is. No bonus dice. And of course, there's the 6.
Oh, well. That's 3 time.
Yep.
My poor horses.
Like 2 6s would have been really bad. We just have to not crit on our roll on when we go to the fort.
Yeah, this is like you're on track to arrive just in time.
Yes, yeah. Oh, game balance.
Yeah. Cool. So that leaves us with the mission. So first I'm going to say a little bit about the high road. So the high road...
and I've moved our icon onto the high road.
Yeah, awesome. So the high road was largely used like as a pilgrimage route in the summer months. And it's like a route that cuts above the tree line. The air is thin, there's a... It's kind of like a stark beauty there, but it's like very barren. There's you can't do supply things there. There's no asset rating, so that tells you a lot about like what kind of landscape is here. As you like climb, you go above the tree line, and there's like no trees, and even plants are rare. There's like these. I mean, we are also in late fall now, right? So it's probably also pretty windy and rainy. And on parts of the route, there's climbing involved, and you have to haul all these like supplies that you have up cliffs, and you don't move very quickly. But and I guess that's probably why you use 3 time here. Is that just because it's just bad weather, and you the routes you thought you could take there, there's been like avalanches and stuff, and you had to go around, and there's a lot of climbing and hauling of equipment. But also these narrow paths and stone bridges here is strength. So the undead they will have to follow the same roads, and the bridges they form like natural bottlenecks on which you can fight them. So you actually have probably better odds here than you would have any other place, and at trying to keep them at bay if you wanted to use the terrain as an advantage.
If we don't freeze to death first.
Yeah, that's true.
The commander rolls her eyes as the marshal complains about how cold it is.
The marshal really can feel it in his joints, that kind of cold. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So the mission today is a supply mission. I'm just going to read the text here, actually. Boriev Natanovich is an elder and famous warlord of the largest of the Semiotic lands, and is trapped in an isolated but circulated by a high mountain lizard looking to eat his bones.
So that's just, I'll just interject and say that's pronounced butte in English. Yeah.
Thank you. That's a new word.
Yeah, it's like a mesa, right? Like a mountain that's had the top sheared off of it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
He won't abandon the small refugee camp he's protecting, but doesn't have enough warriors to shield them on the move. So rescuing a Semiotic elder would mean a lot to the mountain tribes. So the mission rewards here are +3 morale, +1 labor, which is the Semiotic elder and refugees. And then the Semiotic as a people will owe the Legion a debt.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
What are high mountain lizards?
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, so I mean that's part of an answer, right? Is that not something we know of that exists, or?
I mean, there is Semiotic in the. I think actually I'm gonna ask the commander this, because this is your family here, right?
Yeah, so in my head, this is my uncle, not by blood but by marriage. Like he like my aunt is married to him, or betrothed, or mated, or whatever. Like, we haven't really gotten into how Zemyati family stuff necessarily works, but it's not. But like this is he's like this may be like one of those, like, daughter of one clan married the son of another clan, and that united the clans kind of thing, right? So like, I don't really know him. I mean, maybe I've met him once or twice, something like that, but it's not like this is someone that is like part of a close nuclear family. And snow lizards, man. I want to say that that snow lizards are like what in D&D terms we might think of as like an ice drake or something like that. Like, they are more snake-like than lizard-like. They don't have wings or anything like that, right? But they have like extremely sharp claws that they can use, like, basically as like crampons to like skitter around on ice and stuff like this. They are like, the colder it is, the more active they are, right? So like, as it warms up, they just get lethargic, and like they'll sleep through the summer, but then when it gets cold, they like start to, like, with the first frost, that's when they start to emerge, like ravenous from having slept the whole summer, right? So this is autumn. They're like on the move and hungry, and like they've slept, and they want to, drag stuff back to their caves so that they can feed it to the eggs that are hatching now. And like, I think they're, whatever, like a really big one gets to be 15 feet long, maybe. So they're like kind of scary snake lizard things there. And they're like translucent, almost transparent, so that they can kind of like blend in with ice when they stop. So there's this weird effect where you can sort of see through the, like, you can kind of almost maybe see their skeleton a little bit and stuff like this. And if you do manage to do one in, it will just, and you like bring it back to your camp, it will, like, most of it will just melt if you expose it to temperatures higher than freezing.
Cool.
Nice, yeah.
Well, that's going to be interesting. So,
yeah, and most of the year they just don't, like, they're only a problem if you like find yourself off alone by yourself or something like this. But like I said, they've just woken up and they're hungry and they want stuff to feed to their hatching eggs. So yeah.
Cool. So what we're going to do now is to do intel questions, do the engagement roll and load, and then we'll go on a small break, and then we'll see what kind of trouble this lizard might give to us. So, but first, Marshall, which squads are going on missions? You are muted.
Depends on what the intel gives us a little bit potentially.
Cool.
But I imagine like having a scene like we're having our regular commanders. We're probably at this by now probably often with a lot of the specialists too, especially the ones that are more where there's like some real connection there. So. And I think that's like maybe when one of the scouts comes in and delivers this message, what they found, and when that information gets laid out there, that's when the commander realizes who this must be, right? and that's maybe how we like arrive at the situation there. And I definitely think that because the Kingfisher is also Zemyati, I think, right? He wants to get up, but he still has an arm in a sling, and the marshal like recognizes, like, if my joints are hurting, the Kingfisher's joints are definitely not at their best either. And he puts an arm on his shoulder before he even can get up, and says, and turns to Val, and says to Val, get the Ember Wolves up and ready.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Val and Rusted for the mission. And
the secondary one.
For the secondary mission, that's the assault one, right?
Yes, I imagine that it's probably like one of these cutting off the Undead Army under a bridge or something like that.
Yeah, that's the Shattered Lions. And that's assault. Let me check. Yeah, because it's because we're on a retreat, and that's an assault as we are retreating, and this is difficult terrain. I think it's going to be led by the cadre.
Cool.
I think that sounds perfect.
Yeah. And Commander, your intel question, actually, I guess, again.
Yeah, so for our so we can I'm asking this about our principal mission, right?
Yeah, you can ask for both, if like whichever you want. I guess it doesn't say.
Sure. Okay. So for the if you hold one of our intel, I think we've got one intel right now. Let me take a look. Let me make sure I know what's going on.
I think you used it for doing the special mission, no? Or did you get 2 intel last time? You might have, I guess. I don't know.
No, you didn't tell me that we had to spend an intel to get the special mission.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I might not have done that if I'd known that. I didn't realize that. Okay. So we have 0 intel. All right. Sorry, I thought it was something that you rolled. Oh, okay. So then I guess so. Then here's a question: how much travel should we expect to get to where these lizards are besieging this little squad of Zemyati? I mean, like, and specifically, that's more like, do we need to worry about bringing climbing gear and stuff like this? Like what kind of terrain should we expect between here and there?
Yeah, well, so that's exactly it. I think it's very much of like the case of a best case, worst case thing, where there's a pretty big difference between those two. Depends on the weather and I guess also luck, if the tracks because so I think the tracks here, they are like tracks made each summer because that's only a time when people really use it. And during fall, winter, there is a lot of water melting away and like ruining tracks with in different ways by avalanches, also just running water, sliding stuff downwards down the mountain. So if the track is where you think it is, it should be less than a day, but you don't know. It could be you could have to climb a lot of the way, and then it could be.
Yeah. Okay. So we should be prepared for the possibility that it may just be really rough sledding just to get there.
Yeah, you might even have to go a long way around.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So.
Engagement?
Yep.
Okay. Legion loyalty. I think all are loyal on this mission, right? All are oath sworn, I mean.
Yes.
Did the commander spend one intel to give you foresight? No, because we didn't have any. Not everyone is a specialist or soldier. Is there distrust in the leadership among the Ember Wolves? No, right? It's all pretty good. Required specialists are part of it. And it's a supply mission. Did the quartermaster spend food to equip the mission?
Yeah, we can have some food.
Okay, then it's 2 dice. Let's get this right. It's a 5. Risky.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I know how that looks. Cool. So we'll take 10 minutes and be back in a few after a break. We are back, and there is snow lizards out and about. We had a risky start to our mission, and I think I actually immediately knew how that's going to look. So I think the situation you find yourself in is that you are climbing up to this.
1 second. We probably need to say who we are first and pick load.
Yes, sure.
So
yes.
yeah, so we've got Val and Russet as our two specialists, right? So I would say like, yeah, I mean, Joel, Val is your character. Tom, do you want to play Russet, the scout?
I was thinking of playing a rookie, but if scout, you'd like me to play scout, I can play scout.
Yeah, if that's cool with you. Russet is fairly capable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's pretty badass. She's like, she can kind of skate around basically invisibly when she wants to.
And
she's pretty cool.
Jim,
which squad is it?
It's Ember Wolves. So do you want to take Azure again?
Yeah, I played her before, so sure, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to play melee.
Yeah, all right.
Cool. And what load are you bringing? Whoever knows can go first.
1 second. When you are quick and carrying no armor, I'll pick. So with my light load, it says I have black arrows. Do I start with 3? It looks like I start with 3.
Yeah, 3 uses.
Right. Okay. I will. Ooh, actually, I could do with the lenses though. I will. Okay, I'll do normal and take. That comes with a climbing collet and a lenses, which might be good for spotting camouflaged snow lizards. Well, that's me.
Yeah, I'm going normal. I'm bringing the cooking kit and fresh food. And the 2 utility slots is supply and winter clothing.
What is considered, like, what's in supplies? Is it just like stuff?
I think it's food.
Okay.
Supplies is dry food packed for travel. Not really appetizing unless cooked. 1 use feeds a legionnaire for a day. Hope a rookie packed a cooking kit.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, were you considering of bringing the supply? Because I could use the utility for something else.
I was probably gonna take a weapon and like winter clothing. Is it cold enough to need winter clothing? Because no one else is taking it.
I took it as my utility. A hand weapon and winter clothing.
That's definitely a thing that could be useful in the mountains in late fall, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was, like I said, gonna do normal, heavy weapon, and winter clothing.
Okay.
But someone probably should bring supply.
Does supplies feed the squad or just you?
You could probably use it to feed the squad, couldn't you? I mean,
yes,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Okay.
But you only have 5
Alright,
uses, so
just mechanically, I just was okay.
no, you can spread the 5 uses on.
Got it.
You
Okay.
want.
Okay.
Cool. So that's all the loads.
Yeah, and Azure is going to go normal load, fine heavy weapon, winter clothing, climbing kit, musket.
Cool. That seems like a reasonable, and I think also something you might get use of pretty quickly. I think so. I think actually I want to see to have you describe how your character looks as they climb up. So we see this is you're literally like kind of. I mean, it's not like a wall, so you're not using a climbing kit, climbing like that as such, but it's really steep and rocky, and I think it's probably even like it's raining, so it's very slippery, and it's been raining for a while. So there's also like the ground under rocks can sometimes be a little loose, so you could pretty easily have a rock just giving out for if you step on it with weight, and so it's not like a nice climb or anything like that, and we see like the camera from above at you climbing downwards, and so I'd like to like just have you describe your characters, and then we'll turn the camera upwards to the threat that is going to surface as in this exact moment. So who maybe we'll start with Val.
Okay. Yeah, she Val's a large woman. I think we've defined that as a trait of Zemyati. Like all of the Zemyati we've met have been over like 6 feet tall. So she's probably going first, and has like furs kind of draped over her traditional Zemyati armor that she wears with like the gold braiding and things like that. I think in this case, partially she's going first because that's what she does, and partially that she's like so absolutely yoked that she's like a windbreak, basically, for Meaty to just
yeah,
like,
I was immediately imagining Meaty being behind and like almost not visible because of the supplies she's carrying, right? And being like all wrapped up, and being in well, it's awake.
Yeah, probably like raising her hand every once in a while to look past the glare on the snow and try and see where Russet is.
And how does like the camera probably like focuses on Midi? What does she look like?
So she's she's diligently following Val and wrapped up in winter clothing. And I think pretty, well wrapped up. So that's like we're wearing it's basically just her eyes are visible underneath like a warm cap and a shawl like pulled up, and in like typical soldier marching gear. By now she looks the place like this is what she does. This is her life. You couldn't pick her out as like someone. Like you wouldn't say, "Oh yeah, that's a hardened soldier," but you wouldn't like say, "Oh no, like there's the rookie." No, she knows her way about and has it in like it's routine. When we do make camp, like she immediately knows what to do, and gets set up, and like there's like this unspoken trust and with Azure behind her and Val in front. That like yeah, they've been on the road for a long time now.
Yeah, and Azure, you're at the back. How do you look?
So we've kind of established that she, like, the picture of her has kind of long, like braided, it looks like almost kind of like tightly braided, almost like cornrows or something like that like blue and green hair. And like I'm, and it looks like that. It's all tightly braided, but like I kind of, as the wind kind of whips at her, it almost looks like she's got like a flag flowing off of her head, right? And it's just, and she wears her like we've all got hoods on our winter clothing, but she wears it down, and you can see like her ears are like red and probably a little raw, and they probably actually hurt a little bit, and her nose is starting to get that like her cheeks are already got like a little sunburned and stuff like this. But every now and then she just pauses because she's in the back, ostensibly to look and see what's going on. But I think like anybody that would like is watching our show or whatever, it's clear she's never been in the mountains before. And she finds the way that sound echoes just to be delightful and fascinating and magical. And like this idea that you could, and the thing that she brought from home, everybody like she's got on my kit, it's got a little like a memento from home. And she's got a little whistle, like a little bird whistle, right? Just a little thing that's just like carved from like a, whatever, probably like a, like some like thigh bone of a raccoon or something like that, with a couple of holes drilled into it that when you can kind of trill it and get a couple of different bird songs out of it that are very much like forest songbird kind of noises, right? So it's not like stuff you hear out here. But every now and then she'll kind of do a little trill on that, and it'll echo out and come back to her. And like I think at one point, like Val actually has to kind of like get her attention, like tug on the rope that has us all tied together, because she stopped to watch, a hawk take off from some impossible, tiny little ledge that it's built its nest on, that, is that like, all it has to do is just like walk off the side of its nest, and it's like it's like 1,000-foot drop, right? And I'm just the sheer verticality of all of this, she clearly finds just completely fascinating. Not scary, not like, oh my God, I want to jump, but just this is like it's like, whatever. It's like being on another planet for her. And just she's got, you can see like a clear sense of wonder at this landscape that she's not experienced before.
And in front, probably you see Anthracite. They're probably being the scout now. How do they look?
Sorry, am I playing Anthracite or Russet?
Oh, it was russet, right? Yes, it was.
Right. Sorry. Okay. So it's So it's probably it's unfamiliar territory for her as well, as she's Panya as well, but it's less wonderment and more this is a challenge to overcome, and she's very much confident in her movements. Sorry, they're very confident in their movements. You see their sort of cat eyes dart from various handholds, potential handholds, and after every movement, they pull out their climbing kit, get a climbing spike, and just nail it into the wall. Maybe thread the rope round it so the others have a better chance of getting up. Every so often, they'll check like the compass that's sort of just like strapped on their arm, make a few minute adjustments, and it's very it's sort of the opposite of Azure Surging Flood, where it's she's not getting bogged down in the sights of it, more just the challenge.
Cool. So you're getting like pretty close to the top, and like the camera pans around, and you see like this where you've been walking now. It's been like steep, but it hasn't been there hasn't been like flat rock that you had to climb. But ahead of you, that's exactly it. On a sunny day, this might have been not too difficult to climb with not very heavy load, but it's also wet, and wet stone is also cold, and it's a bit of a climb. So yeah, this is not going to be very nice. So what do you do? You also can see like the top it's maybe like 100 meters up.
So basically, like immediately when we pause to examine the situation, after a few breaths, Midi gets out a little container, and it's basically, it's kind of like a form of Vaseline or fat, and like starts smearing it on her exposed skin, and like she's not looking at the problem. She then next turns to whoever's next in the squad right there and starts patching them up as well, right? So to protect them against the weather and light and cold. So that's kind of happening a little bit in the background at the moment.
Yeah, and Azure says, no, it's okay. It hurt for a little while, but now it's going numb.
Azure, no, please let me. They're not pretty scars, I can assure you.
She shrugs.
and Midi's kind of like unsure, but still standing there wanting to do it. But
oh, sorry, I shrug like, yeah, okay. Oh. You know, if you'll feel better, then yeah. But it doesn't hurt anymore. So. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And it's still someone senior to her, so she's not gonna contradict.
Yes, yeah. Well, I'm just waiting for someone to say to Azure, "No, that's a bad sign that it doesn't hurt anymore." That's
Yeah, but that's not Midi, I think. So.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so I'll let her slather it on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Belle's not like looking. I think she's looking up at the rock and trying to be like, "How am I gonna get up here?" But she's just like, please let her take care of you. The commander will have my head if I bring back one of you without a nose.
Russell sort of scales down the wall quite quickly, not like hurriedly, but just sort of, and looks at the two of you as like, what's this then? Oh right, beauty parlor. We've got at least 100 meters until we get to the top.
It protects from the wind.
Maybe getting out of the wind would protect a bit better.
That too.
Just to clarify, is scaling these wet rocks, is this going to be
Risky.
a roll? Yes. Okay. Does the climbing gear help at all?
The climbing gear makes it possible, probably.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you would not have been able to do this without. It would have been more than risky to do it.
So usually, maybe that's a good way to clarify it. Gear always just makes things possible. Unless it says fine gear, then it increases effect. That's
right. Okay.
That's the easy way to think about it.
Yeah, like I've got a fine climbing kit because I can bring one piece of fine gear with me as a soldier.
Yeah.
Fine kit. Yep.
And also, this is not a wall that can be scaled by with like. So the position here you're in is risky, and the effect is limited. So you won't be able to scale it in one go unless you do, your bundle blades things with effects and stuff. So also, who is leading the mission? Is it Russet?
No, Val is in command.
Well, yeah. So probably. So what are your orders? What do you do, Val?
I think Val is probably conscious of the fact that she doesn't really know what to do about like anything to do with nature. Like, so, when she sees Russet like climbing all over the place like a squirrel, she's like, so straight up.
You said about fine compass and maps, and or excuse me if I'm off the left field here, but would that allow us to find a slightly better way around, maybe, or is that something else?
So it's pretty open, right? It depends on what you want to do in the fiction. You could say, I find a better way up and going to use that action for it in these gear things, or I'm going to climb up and get a climbing gear in place or whatever. Depends on what you want to imagine the cool solution is here.
Okay. Yeah, this is where you like. So I am positioning in a place where I'm thinking, okay, so I'm gonna probably position you towards doing a maneuver or whatever, and I know that you don't have that much maneuver, but you can say, screw you, GM. I'm gonna scout and use your map and whatever. That's something you can do, and then you can roll with something that's better for you. And I'm gonna tell you something about the effect then.
Okay, I would like to use my fine lenses to try and Russet will while hanging off the side of this mountain, I suppose, get out her lens and focus it on the sheer sort of cliff she's got to find and scout for perhaps somewhere where the ice is maybe not as or the rocks are not as slippery, or it's slightly easier to maybe to get climbing spikes into.
Yeah. What are you trying to do? Are you finding a route?
Yeah, use scout to maybe find a route that would increase maybe make our maneuver from risky to controlled, perhaps.
So was that a setup action?
Seems like it. Yeah, sure. That's fine. Let's have you roll scout then.
Okay, and it's just click that. Position is.
I'd say this is controlled. I mean, your standard effect.
Standard effect. Bonus dice 0. Submit. 6, a 1, and a 3.
Yeah, that's what did you roll? There you go.
Yeah.
6. So yeah. So how this looks is for setup action. You don't, and I don't think in the fiction either. It makes sense that you like find a route on the rock that makes it less risky, but you find a route that is quicker and gives you more effect. I mean, it's still it is the mountain is the way it is. I think here. But you do find a route that seems to be pretty efficient with like good holes and stuff that would make it much faster to climb up there than the just starting a place and not planning where you're going.
Maybe it's slightly out of it's under maybe a slight overhang, so it's not as wet as maybe the rest of it. And Russet sort of leans back on a rope with a map out with their map out showing Val, and then maybe handing the lens to Val and just pointing out the various pointing out what they think is probably the best route up with what they have.
Mm-hmm. So that gives you risky standard, so you would get up in the roll for now. So how are you going to do this? Yeah, you've got the information now. Well, I guess are you waiting for Russet to come like with a recommendation for what to do, or do you do a command now? How does this look?
I think I think someone that has a climbing kit probably has to go first because I don't have one.
I thought we outfitted everyone had climbing kits or something. Or am I thinking wrong? No? Okay.
So someone has to like leave a rope down or like pull median up or something like that. I can
do that, but my maneuvering is not the best.
Well,
or I don't know
I think
if someone could do a group.
Setting up a rope for like setting up a rope line to help Val climb, that's rig, I feel like. So like yeah, as you're kind of like holds out her climbing kit, kind of squints at you, like clearly estimating how much you weigh without wanting to ask you how much you weigh. She kind of like, tugs on the rope and stuff like that. And she says, all right, I'm going to set this up. And she says to Val, sir, we're going to want you to go first. Cause if these ropes, if these ropes will hold you, they'll hold everyone else with all of that armor.
Okay.
I think I will take a look at the route that has been pointed out to me, and like I've got the coil of rope around me. I hand my musket to Val to hold for me. Actually, I would hand it to a rookie to hold for me. Val's not holding my gun for me. I hand it to a rookie. And then, and like, I'm not quite the like I said, like we said, kind of the squirrel, but I think if Russet is like pointing out the route to me as I'm, I climb up, I drive a spike, I pass a rope through it, climb up a little more, drive another spike, pass a rope through it, and I'm rigging it up so that we can get everybody up there along the line.
Okay, I'd say that's still risky standard, actually.
Sure.
Since you have the route.
Yeah, I do have a fine climbing kit. I don't know whether that affects anything or whether that's just...
Yeah, that makes sense. I'd say that... I say that's probably what makes you do this in one go, actually. Like
okay.
Because you would normally still be able to just climb it, but you have like you have the equipment to do this pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I think that, and in this case, the fine climbing kit means that I've got like good steel spikes that a couple of bangs, sink them solidly into the stone, rather than just like iron spikes that I would have to find a gap and go gung 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 to get them in. So let's see. I've got a rig of 2. Is there a devil's bargain you want to lay on me?
Yeah, sure. You can leave the climbing kit behind.
Yeah. I'll take that, because then it's set up. Then it's set up for us to get back. So that is like the downside is we won't be able to use it again, but I'm hoping that we won't need it. But it will be here for us to clamber back down easily and get our way back down without having to do that. So I'll take an extra die for that and roll rig. It's risky. Standard, right? And I've got 1 bonus die. There's a 6.
Yeah, so describe to me how this looks.
Yeah, I think like we said, it's just I'm kind of clambering up, and these are like the it's like a hook and eye, or not like a hook and eye, but it's like a spike that has like a loop on the end of it, almost like a big oversized needle that I'm driving in, and then I thread the rope through it. And I've got a thing of rope around my waist that I can just pull, bits of it off. And as I go through, I thread it, I climb up, I thread it through the next, and whatever little 20, 30 feet section of steep stuff that we actually have to climb here. This is actually a thing where this is literally like a handrail where they can, then kind of climb up. It's probably in there solid enough that you can kind of do it 1 or 2 hand over hands, and then actually put a foot on the spike to kind of steady yourself before you haul yourself up further. And I'm at the top of whatever the next cliff is. And I say that should hold. Sir, give it a try, Tival.
And I want to say that Meaty's been a little bit busy in the meantime, and she's taken another rope out of the soldier's kit, because I would suggest the rest of us, so us 3 and the squad, we just do a team action maneuver, so to get us all up there in one row. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was gonna suggest doing a group action anyway.
Cool.
That seems to me to be like a control.
So I would still say Val's the one leading this as being the heaviest.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a control standard with the whole rope and stuff being there now.
And I think and are we saying that Azure's already up there because she did the rig to get there? Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You good? So yeah, maneuver probably here, or what do you think?
I would like maneuver. Controlled, standard. I get 1 extra die in group actions. And I'm thinking I should probably push myself, because if this goes wrong, it's probably going to be bad.
We've got so many dice.
The rest of them also get to roll, so
and it's one
all
pool.
of you have to fail.
Yeah, only one person needs to get a 6 here.
Oh, okay.
The risk for you is taking stress from other people failing. So
yeah, okay.
And it is maneuver, controlled, standard.
Yeah. And the squad is rolling too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Well, there's a stress. Well. The squad saved us.
Yeah.
I guess, but it's too stressful for the one leading the action.
Okay.
what's that look like? Like, is this like, what's causing the stress here? That we get the situation where like Meaty misses like a step or like slips off of one of the hooks, and there's like this tug, and we just get Val like groaning and like pulling Meaty with the safety line back up again.
Yeah. I think that's probably about it.
Yeah. Dragging you up.
Yeah.
And you come up, even though probably you all are a bit. This was a bit more tiring than you expected, and I think probably you, Azur, you've been there up there a little bit already, and it's. I think actually it starts to you see there's snow up here. It wasn't on the edge. Maybe through a combination of like wind and just I mean it's a 100-meter difference. It's matters in these heights, and you see like your eyes are getting a little bit like used to the whiteness, and you see just up like a hill. You see like the shapes of these of some like ice lizards that's like barely moving. You can barely see them in the snow, and you see like the smoke of a campfire from like the just off the edge of your sight from like the hill curving off to the flat plateau.
Once everybody's up, I'm gonna grab Russet and have them point their spyglass at the shapes there and ask them what they see. I think that's what we're looking for.
Is that another scout roll, or are you happy?
I don't think you need to roll for this. You see that there's definitely snow lizards. It is snowing a little bit here, so you can just like see probably like they're almost like heads, and you see just parts of their bodies, like the rest of them it being under the snow from just like this thin layer of snow that's lying there, you see that there are several of them almost like in like a circle around like the top of the hill. So that's what you see. There's about 10 of them you can see
surrounding the top of the hill.
Like looking towards the plateau, not to you.
Yes, yeah. About 10 of them, cold and mean, and I think they're having themselves a little siege. They all seem to be congregating around the top of the hill. If they've smelt blood, I think that's where we'll find our man.
Yeah, I think this is where everybody looks at Val.
She's like still catching her breath, I think. Like, as soon as everybody was up safe, she's like, okay. So we should probably get to the elder and the refugees, make ourselves known so they don't think they're twice screwed. And think about bringing them back.
Am I correct in assuming that? Do we know exactly where the elder is? Because I assumed that he was on top of the hill, surrounded by the drakes, and that was the assumption that I made, and that Russet made as well.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to you from there. So you see like the smoke from the top of the hill, and like the lizards surrounding like the plateau where the smoke is coming from. So I mean, you don't know if they're there. You can't see them, but all logic tells you that that's probably what's.
As we're looking at this scene, right? Is it the case that like the looking glass gets like passed around because so Val gets a look right after like Russet spots them, then the commanding officer gets a look, and then like Azura is like the veteran, and at some point like it ends up with Meaty, so she can take a look, and I'm like peering through them, and I'm like, whoa, they're beautiful.
I'm sure they look a lot more beautiful up close if you want to act as bait.
Oh, I want to know how my squad mates react to that.
Yeah. I think
I've got just a kid, right, as a special ability, which implies that people tend to be protective of me.
Yeah, I think Val like laughs, but it's kind of like, you know, when you want to, like, she doesn't genuinely think it's funny. Like she's just kind of like, oh ha ha, and like
diffuse attention.
Yeah, like kind of like, I'm not gonna make this a thing, but like we could make it a thing, and like puts her hand on BD's shoulder and is like, they taste good too. You have to eat them quick though.
I think I just hand back the looking glass a little bit, not quite sure what just happened, like not getting the subtext and cross there between the specialists.
Yeah,
I think much better bait.
Russet takes it back and just grins at Meaty, sort of not, very toothy grin, I think.
Sir, are we stalking them or do we want to get their attention?
Hard to say. I mean, I'm better at the latter. But not sure. Would you prefer to set yourselves up somewhere and maybe provide covering fire or something?
Yeah, and like, you know, like I point off to a little like rock promontory off the side and I say, if Russet and I can get up there between their bow and my musket, we should be able to do some damage, sir.
Sounds good.
It'll also give them another direction to think about. And I look to Russet like, sound good?
Seems solid. It's better than staying out here and freezing to death.
All right. Get out there, make some noise. Either it'll scare them off or bring them running. Either way, they're not attacking the civilians.
Yeah, so what do you do?
So that there's, I suppose we sort of, I'd imagine we'd skirt around the other side of the hill and
I mean, it's the, like, the two of us are together. You're the really good scout. So like, I would just follow your lead on the, like the quickest, best way to get up there. And then once we're up there, we're just going to like, you know, wait for like the high sign from Val to open fire, I think.
Actually, before we walk off, I turn back to Meaty and may I borrow your whistle, please? and just hold my hand out for the whistle that they were blowing on the way up?
Oh, that's me. Actually, I've got the whistle. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
okay, that works.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll hand it to you.
Yeah. Okay, so then we just sorry about that. We skirt around. Should we plan an escape route before we do this? I feel that's probably a good idea.
We can always do that with a flashback. Don't get held up by those things. Like, we can always flash back that we made up a route backwards. So just plow ahead and yeah.
No, I mean escape route from where we are right now, like from the high ground that we're at, to get out of here once we start. I don't know if that would make a roll down the line go from desperate.
No, we don't need to do that right now.
If you screw things up, you can always say, "Oh yeah, what we did think of that," and do a flashback.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
So you don't need to do that pre fucking up. You can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So
Yeah, you're sure. So you wanna? I think this is so you're trying to like sneak up to like a point where you have a good spot to shoot them.
Yeah.
What is this, like a group action? Sounded like it a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Who's leading?
I think, would it be Rossett? I think it might be Rossett.
Yeah, you're the crazy good scout.
Yeah. Which skill are you using?
I would like to use Scout.
Yeah.
Move or observe without being noticed, spot weakness or exploits if there's something to be seen.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Okie dokie.
I think this is. I think it is risky and standard effect. You do it and you get to the point.
Risky.
Standard. Yeah, that was 6.
Yep.
Nice. And I got. Oh, yep. I failed. So you're going to take a stress from that.
Okie dokie.
So, how do you save Azure from being spotted?
So, it's quite craggy terrain.
Or from falling.
Yeah. And I suppose the way this looks is we're both quite low, sort of like scuttling, I suppose, along the edge of the thing, and maybe Azure's foot just catches one of the craggy rocks, and she slips, and it's sort of a moment where the hand sort of like she falls back, and then the hand comes out, and it's sort of like that, and it's quite a tense moment because they may have been spotted or heard by the drakes. Is it drakes? Ice drakes.
Yeah, that's fun.
And so they're both sort of just like looking at each other in the eyes, well, like that, and then the moment passes, and Rossett just hauls Azure back up.
Yeah, and I think it's and definitely it's a thing where if I had both hands free, I would have been fine. But since I'm carrying the musket in one, and like I absolutely don't want to drop it, that it's like I I flail, and that's why you have to catch me. So yeah, I love that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and you get up there, so and you have the like describe to me like what how are you in relation to these lizards? Is it like are you on the same where are you?
Like I imagine the thing where like it's not like a butte that is like, you know, whatever, and surrounded by empty air all around, but this is like one flat topped spot amongst all these kind of mountains and stuff like that and everything, and we're just at kind of like an adjacent one that's a little taller than that one, that maybe could fit like 4 of us at most, kind of. And I think we've actually got I would love it if we had a little bit of an overhead view of the actual camp where they're camped out. And so probably because of the way it comes up, we've got a really good angle on like half of the circle or whatever, like right on the, like on the eastern side of this area where they're surrounded, we've got this very clear line of fire. But because of the way it drops off on the other side, we can't see anything on the other side.
Yeah, cool. So,
Tom, does that sound about right to you? Does that make sense?
Cool.
Yeah.
So I guess you also see like the people for the first time, and there's like you see that they are maybe like 100 meters away, and you see like this I guess they're against like a wall, maybe almost like there's on the edge or something like that, and you see like there's this other mountain thing not so far away, but there's like this gap there, and you see them in a half circle, and there's like some people with torches, and it's very easy to understand that they don't have unlimited amount of torches, so this has been they've been standing at this, and there you are like seeing these people. What do you do?
Like are they at the point where the torches are clearly made out of things that are not supposed to be torches?
Yes.
Yeah, like whatever, like they've broken spear halves off and are now, okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. So you're on top there. What do you do?
Like I said, I think we're, I prime my musket, I sight down, looking at, one of these things slithering around in the, circling around, hissing at them, looking for an opening. And I just wait for Val to, give us the sign.
Yeah. So down.
And I'm doing that. And I'm doing that thing. I've got a musket, so I'm doing that thing where I just, lay down full length, like I am prone, with the end of the musket, in a cleft on a rock, just pointing down.
I think Russet draws her bow, sort of brings her thing, and she turns to look. They turn to look at Azure, and there's sort of a look, which is very much like a sort of side look, which is like, I bet I can hit that one on the end. Let's see.
Oh, and this
musket can match my bow.
This is totally a thing where like you look at me and grin, and I look at you and scowl a little bit, and like your bow has like 7 notches in it, and my musket has 6, like that kind of thing. I think that's like, like kind of in the just like carefully carved notches, like in the end where I hold it. I think that's fantastic. Yeah.
Try not to hit it anywhere near the meat. I'd rather not have to pull musket balls out of my food.
And is there a sign from Val?
Yeah, I think she has the Ember Wolves and BD kind of get into position, probably near but like slightly behind her, and I think the Zamyati probably have like some pretty serious war cries. So she probably takes her big heckin' axe and like bangs it on her shield, and like does this like Zamyati battle scream, so that like she wants the elder to know like they sent your people and we're coming.
That is going to echo nicely off of all of these mountains around us.
Yeah, and like she said, either scare the lizards away because like now they know that it's like a bigger group that's less easily messed with, or they'll like have something else to look at.
Cool. So I imagine like this kind of this is like the slow motion 300 style cinematic thing where you see like the boom boom, and then like the camera pans around to you up there, and you shoot, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
Two of us, yeah, we're using shoot,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah. So you are shooting one each, then is my guess, or what do you do?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you are at the same scale, but and I think actually the normally there would be a threat difference here, but you're at a distance, so I don't think that matters here. So I think standard effect, and I guess it's even controlled here at this point because you're at a distance. Been maneuvering and being good, so I'm gonna reward it, I think. Who goes first with the roll? I guess it's probably in the TV series you really like shoot at the same time, but
I'll go first, I suppose.
yeah. What are you rolling?
Shoot, which is 2 dice, standard controlled. So, just to clarify, black arrows, they are only really good against undead, correct?
They give more effect against undead, yeah, but these are not.
Yeah, okay, well, never mind then. Cool. Rolling now.
Do you want to trade?
Sorry. That didn't work.
Oh, okay, well, cool. I think you just... I mean, so I think what happens is that your arrows, they hit, but and you do hit the one that's furthest away, but you definitely like underestimated their like the grittiness of their skin. I imagine them being like Komodo dragons ish, and it's not like you have to hit it in the proper spot. You can't just you hit it in like the neck or whatever, which is like the strongest part of its shell.
Yeah, it's like shooting at something encased in ice.
Yeah, and
so if you get a glancing armor, it'll just make a little chip off of it, but then your arrow goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got their attention with that, I think.
Yep.
Can we see how my musket ball does here?
Yep.
All right, so same story. I've got 2 in shoot, controlled, and standard effect.
Yeah, you wanna push for anything here?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push to like, no kidding. This is the thing where like I like let the breath out, you know, like I'm lying full length against the ground and I can already feel the heat coming out of my body, right? Because I'm just like, basically I'm just laying full length on ice and whatever, and they put the stuff on my, you know, and like the wind is whipping and I gotta count and all that stuff. So yeah, so I'm gonna push myself for extra effect here is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
So that shoot, controlled, effect, great. No bonus dice. There's 5.
Yeah. I don't. So you see that like the first like the arrow hits the one in the furthest away, and then your one you do take one down. How does that look like?
Well, first of all, like that bow glances off, and I mutter, always bringing a bow to a gunfight, and then, you know, sight down and actually like, cause like the bow got its attention, and there's the one next to it, kind of its head pops up and it, you know, goes on a swivel looking for what's going on. and I go, there it is, pull the trigger, and right through its eye.
So like, that's it. She saw the arrow and she was like, and then she turns, she hears Azure say that and turns to say something like snide, and sees like this Drake just have his like head blown up, and she just goes like,
and as I go to grab the packet to load the new round in, I just do a little like lick my finger and one in the air in the same motion that I'm reloading my musket.
And I think what happens here is that you see like 3 of them turning around lightning quickly, like eyeing your position and just like you're gonna have visitors, and that's like you're gonna have a risky position at the minimum next time you see your screen. So back to the chargers on the ground. You see like there's, I guess, there's 6 of them here now, because 3 of them are moving towards our artillery, and so you're on the same scale. But what do you do? You're charging them, right?
Yeah.
What does that look like? It's well in front, I am assuming.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's probably similar that we've been saying of the Val, just like I think in a way she looks almost like relieved or like more comfortable than she's been in the entire mission so far. Like she's self-aware enough to know that like her purpose as like a human being is to be pointed at things that need to be destroyed. And so it's like, yes, this is correct. And so that's just what she's doing. Again, trying to make a lot of noise.
But you've
bringing the rest of the emeralds behind her.
Yeah, okay. That was my question.
Yeah. So I can lead another group action skirmish. If I use anchor so that we're actually at greater scale than the lizards, will that increase my effect?
Yeah, I was just gonna, because I was just thinking now, because I also forgot that Azure is also a part of the emerald, so I'm just gonna look at your number. So it's Sapphire, Vermilion, Violet, Midi, and you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're 5, and there's you're the same. Yes, you would do that. So I think I'm gonna make a clock for these here. It's gonna be a 6 clock. So yes, you're at risky because you're surprising them a little bit, and these are pretty formidable foes here. Their threat level is 3. But and your effect would be, let's see, if you're attacking the whole group, would be limited because you're at the lower threat. But if you anchor, you're going to go up to standard.
Okay. I will use an anchor then. Let me just mark the use off on something. And leading a group skirmish, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, you can roll.
Risky standard.
Risky standard, yes.
Can I push it to desperate for increased effect?
Yes, you can.
Whoa. Okay.
Change
How does
his
it
position
look? Because if you're commanding us, you're taking us kind of with you.
Yep.
Okay.
Then we're all doing that probably, right? Or no?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure you are.
Should I not?
I'm fine with it. I just want to make clear you need to do something in the fiction to show how it's more risky.
Except if she just hauls ass and gets out in front of the squad on her own, and then like says,
to draw all the attention and
exactly, yeah, I'll hold them, get past, and get just push through and make sure the people on the hill are okay, or whatever. Like, I mean, like it's super easy. For her to just dive into the middle of them and say, hang back, or you guys go that way, and just kind of be on her own.
The thing about that, though, is how do we... I mean, because then we're not... Then it's not a group action and a team action anymore, because
I didn't. Sorry, you know what? I didn't realize there was a group action for the attack. I thought it was just Val running, going.
Which is also fine. Then it's just a team action between Meaty and the squad, because we're at a different position in effect then. But also, if it's a single action, then Val is at a different scale. Then suddenly it's 1 against 6.
Yeah, but she's got that one-woman army thing going on.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. So that's just the thing here, right? Because otherwise we're kind of it's not really cheating, but if only one takes the desperate consequences to get great effect for everyone, it's a little bit a bit iffy mechanically.
That's totally cool. Like this is all still, we're all still, sorry, maybe not all of us. I am still learning the game and understanding the distinction between people acting together and acting on their own and all that kind of stuff. So that completely makes sense to me.
Fictionally it's completely valid. It's how we want to, like, I actually like the idea a lot, so I'm fine to do it that way. And maybe the Ember Wolves are by now that's their accustomed way of fighting, but it's kind of open up to Joel, I would say, how you want to do it.
And that could also be my understanding of the way that works is you could also make that a back end thing where, devil's bargaining is, you're out on your own away from the squad.
Exactly.
And can't do any more group actions. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a different way. Very true. How do you want
to... So if we're together and I use anchor, we're on the same scale, we're not a greater scale, because I think that makes me count as actually 3 or 4 people by myself.
You're right. So what happens with the threat scale is that it matters for your positioning, not your effect. Yes, you're at greater scale, so you'll have a great effect.
Okay. So it's already...
I'm also still learning the game, goddammit.
So it's risky, great, before manipulating the role.
But only if you're acting as a group.
Okay.
Are we?
I think so. I mean, I have 3 skirmish and an extra die for group actions. So I was thinking that would give us the best chances.
And just to be talk a little bit about what you suggested earlier, I think if you think of it as of a strategic point of view, I think doing changing position for effect here would probably be smart, because you get quite a bit of effect for that. You will have one more than great, which gives you 4 pies, and the risk for failing here is pretty low because you have a lot of dice, right? So if you want to game the system, I just wanted to also talk about that because
it's also
not always clear.
It's easier if it's a desperate action. I can resist better, and I also have extra for like if I take like protecting. I'm
completely with you as our commanding officer, doing a desperate, like a charge that could lead us potentially into a desperate situation, but might have the awesome effect of not having a problem at all after that anymore.
So and then back to what you asked for in the first place, Matthias. What is it that you do that makes this desperate? How is it that you're careless about this to get this extra effect?
I mean, Meaty, and the way I chose my load, she's got her musket, and yes, she's screwed the bayonet on top of it, right? But it's a charge. We're running in, one shot and one stab, and then it's like, hopefully that did it. And that's like the whole squad. Kind of. The others then pull their weapons, right? But I've been like, we're loaded up with supplies, but we're still like, after that, if that doesn't work, then we're kind of screwed in the very direct next moment.
Yeah, we're also assuming that we can actually see all of the lizards that we're charging into, which may or may not be the case.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Okay, this is like a good time to roll here. Cool.
Okay. So we're desperate, extreme.
Yes.
I get 1 extra. And shall I push myself? Dare I die?
I'm not pushing myself. I'm not doing shit. I'm rolling 1 die.
I know, but we've been rolling kind of bad today. I'm a little afraid.
Yeah, it just means we've got all the bad dice out.
That's how dice science work. #confirm.
Yeah. I'm good to go. But I can't roll. Like, we need to decide before we roll.
I think I guess I should probably save the stress for resisting.
Probably not unwise.
So, okay. What would the devil's bargain be if there were to be one?
Well, I'm gonna say Meaty is gonna be separated from the rest of you.
Oh, I can't do that.
Take it.
She's just a kid.
Yeah, but that's how you will activate just a kid.
Yeah. All right, I'll take it then.
And it's a non-issue if you get 1/6 in this roll.
Okay.
There we go. Hey, Meaty.
She
the
said,
shot lands.
You're gonna do what?
Yeah, let's see about our rookies as well. I almost forgot I get to roll. What are they?
That's the 1 stress, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you get you do quite an impact here. But I kind of interested in also seeing you, Meaty, because you do like better than the rest of the squad, right? I would say maybe a little bit. I mean, I'm not surprising, but there's also soldiers here in this squad. So show me how you do better with this like bayonet charge that you're doing.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
So Meaty is running like the big pack of supplies off of her shoulders, and she kind of even gets swept up and almost leaves the line, like gets a little bit ahead. So we don't have a good line composition anyways, because this is like a desperate charge, like we're like just going for it, right? And Midi like waits for absolutely the last second, and we get like the Drake, ice Drake opens its jaws, and she like fires into it, and it's still like itself moving, and she's moving, and rams the bayonet into its jaws, and then the thing collapses on top of her, and then we see like all the rest of the action. And the next time we see Midi, she's like just like heaving the thing off of her, but she killed it and getting back onto her feet.
Just hear Russet shouting in the distance, "They still look beautiful, rookie!" Blows on the whistle a little bit.
And the rest of the action here is you, Val, because the Ember Wolves, so the rest of the Ember Wolves, don't manage to get any good hits in. So what does that look like? I imagine you probably like slice one or two of them open.
I think since Val's from the mountains, she knows like you, which is maybe why the artillery is having like not as easy of a time, but you have to crush them. So she's like for her, I think why it's desperate is she's not like, she's just using like the weight of her weapon and her strength to try and like shatter them rather than slice them. So it's a lot of like heavy, slow movements that like leave her open. Like she's not using her shield to like defend herself at all. She's using it to like bash stuff.
Is this like a thing where you've like turned your axe sideways? You're like hitting them like it's a hammer? That's awesome. Yeah, super cool.
She's just like shattering them into a million sparkling and razor sharp pieces. And that's maybe kind of where the stress comes from, is like there's basically like shards of glass like flying all over the place that she's got to try and dodge with the shield, that like not using her shield again.
I'm in the Val fan club, just saying. Okay, so cool. I think so. Just to frame how this looks now, I think you see one of them like shattered, and the other one looks like almost half their face is gone, like lying, shaking, kind of melting, I guess, maybe. Because of like the hotness of the gunshot, so their head like kind of half melted, and but as like the like ice particles from like the shattered lizard like falls down, you see that Val, you and the wolves are at the one side, and Meaty is at the other. So basically, we'll see what our artillery can do here. But if we get back to you down there, then you won't be able to act as with the group, Meaty. You'll be on your own with the scale of problems that might bring with it. So back on the shelf, what do you do?
I remember the thing about the echoes, and I think what I want to do, I don't know if that would work.
Oh yeah, and you also see 3 of them charging towards you, actually, because they are not under.
You know, I'm starting to think this plan might have a few flaws in it. That was Russet speaking, although not me. I like this fun.
Oh yeah, no, I just kind of mutter, only if you stop shooting, and like, because you can just like bows are easy to just ba-ching, 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 and I've got like thing, boom, tamp another ball in, get it ready to go, and bring it up to shoot again. So, although I guess we've got like these are not breech loading, right? They're or whatever barrel loading. They're
barrel loading.
Yeah,
a good.
Or are they barrel loading?
A good soldier.
I thought they were like cap and ball.
Yeah, I think it's like a powder cartridge and a musket ball, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. Okay.
So
anyway, yeah. So I gotta whatever. I gotta drop another ball down and put the powder in and stuff like that. And I'm good at it and quick at it. I'm a soldier, but still, it's gonna take a second to do this. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, keep shooting.
Okay, so Russet just says like, well, a good soldier should be able to fire 2 bullets every minute. Of course, a better soldier doesn't use a musket and draws another bow and fires another arrow.
Yeah, and I think like because we saw 3 of them like running towards you, so you see probably like as you shoot, it's literally like jumping for you. So it's not like this long distance thing here. It's kind of. It's close range here, so definitely desperate.
Oh.
And what does their teeth look like as your?
Like, I suppose if we're going with the motif, it's like just a huge maw of incredibly sharp icicles.
Yeah, so I guess this is shooting right here.
Boy. Okay. Oops, I just took away one of my shoot. I pressed the wrong thing. Yes, but is it still standard? Given they're closer now?
I think it's limited actually because of the range.
Okay. Okie dokie. That's not good.
Yes, so you hit, but it's like so close that it doesn't impact at all, and you feel like the jaw of the lizard like around your like whole. I think you find yourself like halfway inside with your head, like it's fighting over your chest. You take 4 harm.
Okay, so I have.
You want to resist?
Yeah, because you're gonna die if you don't.
I have Panther Light Grace, so it starts at 1 level lower, so it's 3 harm, which is still not good. But yes, I would like to resist.
Cool. That's probably going to be a physical resist.
Okay.
Going with the
prowess.
Prowess,
yeah. So let's have a look at. It's the one thing that I don't have a bonus in. Prowess, bonus dice 0. Oh God.
That's good. Doesn't cost any stress.
Yeah, the 6 is good.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry. 6 stress minus the highest die result. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So what happens there?
It goes to level 2 harm.
Okay.
Right.
So yeah, you're still gonna have like a big like scar on your chest from this. There's like a gorge there, but how do you avoid like just getting totally?
So I do want to mention, if you have armor, you can also burn an armor to lower it by 1 more.
I do not have an armor.
Oh, okay. Well, all right then.
Yeah, no, that's not good. Yeah. So so maybe she dodges. The jaws just barely miss snapping her, but then it like rears back and smacks her. I'm not good with pronouns. They get smacked and perhaps fall down onto a lower sort of plateau or down a slope, but sort of doesn't slide down it, but actually lands and lands badly.
Cool. And you see like down on the chest, and it's like already soaking red.
Yeah. There's a nasty crunch. Several ribs break.
And what do you do, sir?
I holler shit, and I, reach down to. So I have a heavy weapon that I brought along with me, a fine heavy weapon. And in this case, it is basically like a great bit like an ice axe, right? Like the kind of thing that you would use to like climb with, that you could like chunk in, and we maybe even saw me using it before. And it's heavy, not because it's great big huge thing like Val's, but it's just, it's just heavy. Like it weighs a lot. It's awkward. It's not necessarily like, this is not a great thing to fight bandits with, but like actual ice lizards, yeah. And so I just like I holler that curse. I drop the musket, and I just kind of skid down that slope with this thing over my head, and just like start wailing on its back. Let go of her. We're tied, I say.
Cool. So cool. So I think this is less dangerous. I'd say it's risky, and because of your fine weapon standard.
Okay. I've got 1 in skirmish, but I'm gonna spend a use of grit.
Yeah, and if you do this, you fill the clock. So
yeah, I've got relentless. I can spend grit uses to push myself. So that's what I'm doing here to get the extra die.
Yeah, these are animals. They won't fight to the death. So
yeah. All right. So here we go. So this is what's a devil's bargain? Oh, except I don't need it. I've already pushed for the die. So yeah, I'll just take it. So I got skirmish. It's risky standard.
Yes.
Risky standard. 1 bonus die. Submit. There's a 5.
Yeah, so you do hit it. Describe to me how that looks, and you kill it as well, I think. And you hear like the scream. It's like a very very disturbing sound actually, and it echoes off like all the mountains, and like describe to me how you kill it.
Like I said, like it's got my friend, like halfway down its throat. It sounds like, right? Like they're kind of trying to like keep the jaws from slamming shut down on it. And like I said, I just kind of come down on its back and just like bam, bam, and then like it lets go. And then like when the head snaps around to come at me, I give it one last crunch, and the pick just, kind of goes right through, whatever, like the end of its snout, and just kind of shears it off. And it staggers for a couple of steps, dropping shards of ice and stuff like this. And I kind of like the idea that sound it's basically like if you've ever heard like a bunch of icicles like drop off of something and like hit a hard surface kind of all at once, that kind of like shattering tinkly sound like that, but kind of loud and like loud and grindy. And it it staggers a few steps and then just sort of flops down in the snow. And I holler up the hill, what are you doing? Put the torches down and grab your axes at the Zemyati that are up there. As I've got, as I'm looking at Russet to see how they're doing.
They're all chewed up, but they just croak out like, that doesn't count. I distracted it.
And I grin and I say, I guess it's 8 to 8 then, or maybe 7.5. And hold down a hand to help you up.
So
yeah,
that was down to 2 harm. So it says I'm just unfamiliar with harm, how that works. So do I now get a debuff because I'm on level 2 harm?
When appropriate. So here, that's the point, right? You need to be.
Right.
That's why you have to write in some kind of what is the fictional wound, right? Because it could also be just emotional. There could be level 2 harm heartbroken, and that might not keep you from like running fast.
Okay, it's just cracked. I've just got cracked ribs.
Yeah, which almost any physical thing might probably induce the -1 die.
Right. Okay. Cool.
But you can always push yourself, pay 2 stress to ignore wound penalties.
Yeah.
And also the consequence for this 4 to 5 roll here is that the clock of the Ember Wolves is distrust the leadership is filled. So we can explore what that looks like. But I imagine probably it's gonna be something like because this is not really a mission that's on the menu, right? You're doing something outside of your like what you're supposed to be doing or whatever. I don't know. It seems like a reason that might be some reason to distrust why you've been sent up here. I don't know. We can explore that later, but that's what's just gonna be something from now on.
Can that consequence be resisted?
Sure.
Can I resist it because they're like actually with me?
Yes, sure. You probably see. I mean, we can also see. Is Meaty involved in this? You're a part of the Ember Wolves. So if you wanted to like frame how that looks, you could.
I totally like. So like the thing that I said where like we charged in and started shooting and hacking at stuff, and the Zemyati don't seem to be helping. Like I think the two of us, the 2 scouts that were shooting, like we assumed we'd fire a couple of shots and then the Zemyati would go rah and they'd charge down the hill as Val charged up. And I'm definitely like looking at them like, what the hell?
So I'm definitely was also thinking about resisting.
Yeah, sure.
But,
just tell me how you resist. It seems very appropriate since you actually are part of the wolves.
I mean, I kind of have already been resisting, right? I'm getting weird comments from one of the leadership, and I think the way I resist is I as we're like now, so if I understand it on our side, it's kind of our stuff is done, right? We beat those. So when I like
running away.
Yeah, exactly. When so as we're like joining back up together, I think I step towards towards Val and I think what I say is so Captain, what did Raging Tempest mean back there? we've come all this way and getting... I know I'm still just a recruit, but we've come a long way. I'm like kind of like, her eyes are kind of pleading to be like, right? It's like, what the fuck? Why are we like, why am I getting put down at this point? Like, that's still like a thing in the back of her mind, and looking pleadingly towards Val for like a...
I think,
like, will she
Val...
brush it aside? Or will she... Yeah.
No, I think Val, like, fully stops, like, walking at all, and, like, puts, like, both hands on Meaty's shoulders, and is like, it doesn't matter what they meant. Okay? I would never let anything happen. Okay. You're not bait. You're important.
Yes, Cap. Got you. So it feels like either one of us could roll the resist here. Depends how we want to view that. Do we want to... Is this the scene where Meaty grows to shall I try to take that stress upon me? How do you feel? Or do you want to be like, this is where Val shows leadership? What do you prefer?
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think I actually have anything.
No, I'm not speaking mechanically. Purely fictional. Yeah. Is this where basically we see Val come into her leadership position, or do we see it from Val's eyes seeing how Meaty is growing a spine? That's what I'm like kind of getting at. Which character do we want to focus here on? And that character is going to roll the resist and master the stress to push against this.
I kind of like both.
Yeah, me too. I mean, okay. Yeah. So well, why don't then we both roll? Is that okay? I mean, it's suboptimal, but it's got to be like both sides, right? Maybe this is like then also means it's continued trust in the Ember Wolves from the leadership.
So
can you
mechanically speaking, I took 2 ticks because it was risky, so you could resist 1 each.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay.
I assume this is resolve.
Also my heart.
Yeah, this is awesome. I love this. Here's where it pays off that Meaty is like a little bit good in everything. Okay, 3 dice.
Can you push yourself on the resisting?
No.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
There you go. Perfect.
So you see like the lizards like running away, and I think like I want to like focus in on this moment where you two are like resisting this. Like there's like this moment where you're kind of, I mean, where this happens, right? Where you do resist the urge to like blame the leadership and like grow. What does that look like? How what's happening?
Yeah, I think for Meaty we can definitely see like she's straightening her back and just nods and files like what happened before way under. It's just basically like soldier locker room talk, right? Not great, but not something to lose faith through. And I think there will be talk later, like where in quiet moments they converse and like where she speaks with other members about what happened.
Yeah. I think Val's Resist is like the opposite, almost. Like, I think Val starts crying. Like, not loud or anything, but she, like, basically, in her mind, the Ember Wolves have seen, like, nothing but absolute, like, competence from her. Like, the last time she was out with them, they, like, killed a Broken and stopped a siege. And then, like, she's, like, really done her best. And that was her squad. And I think seeing them on the edge of breaking and her, like, the idea of losing her squad, even though she has, like, tried so hard, like, breaks her heart. And, like, yeah, I think she's, like, maybe that's why it ends up, you know, they keep the faith in her, is because it's like, you know, maybe they don't necessarily trust, like, the leadership or something, but she wants it to be like, at least you can trust me, you know? So I think she's just kind of like, anyway.
Yeah, everyone in the squad is kind of a little bit awkwardly looking away and pretending like that, like, right? To not have noticed, but they had noticed, and yeah.
Yeah, just like showing that she's not like a Terminator.
Yeah, exactly, yes. Yeah, I love it. So good.
Yeah, and I think you see like the people on the other side of like the plateau coming towards you, and I think you also immediately, like, the camera like pans around and you immediately like realize why they didn't like storm to your rescue, right? Because this is literally like young, like teens, old people. This is no soldiers. They are civilians. It's only this like older man who might have been a soldier once, but probably is in their, like, I'd say maybe 70s, like an old Semyati, Boriev. And I want to ask you, Jim, since I mean, you're not playing the commander now, but how would someone greet like a senior respected Semyati? Like would be someone greeting him, I guess, but
yeah, like, I think the I don't know what the like this is. Neither of us, I think we would use whatever the Zemyati greeting is for when you greet somebody basically like on the road, because neither of us is in our homes. So even though it's not the case, like, I basically am going to greet, like I'm going to treat him as equal in all respects to me. And I think it starts with something that indicates oh, you know what, it's just a hand clasp. It's like one of these. But it's with your weapon hand, right? And you hand clasp with one hand and you kind of do this with the other. to show that, I've got no weapons, nothing up my sleeve, kind of thing like this. And I greet him by whatever his title is, and he would greet me by whatever my Zimyati, whatever like a Zimyati would call essentially like a tribal, like a chieftain or something like that. And after some formalities about, how are you finding the roads, and a discussion of the weather, which is like immensely important to the Zimyati, right? And, that's where we'd talk about the weather, and then we would, like formalities out of the way, then we would sit down, like, we'd go into the commander's tent, sit down and talk about, the nitty gritty of what do you got? What do you need? How can you help us? Where, like that.
Okay, cool. So I think probably like we might see that on screen actually, but in the most immediate like second, you see Boryev like coming towards Val, and like extending his arm, and you can see like probably they are like his hands are almost like blue probably. I'm guessing probably that he's been carrying that torch, and he extends his arm, and you see
like if he's Zimyati and he's 70, he's missing at least one finger.
Yeah.
Like probably, like he's got somewhere between probably 6 and 10 actual fingers left at this point. So yeah.
I just want to say I really like the idea of sorry, who was originally greeting the?
I think what we saw is like what happened when like the Boryev, who's the elder who we just rescued, greeted the commander. But this moment I'm describing
it's a little bit of a flashback, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Boryev going towards like Val and extending his arm.
Yeah, Val, I think knows to do the same, and there's probably some kind of traditional greeting, like she says something like blood of your blood, Zaya Dianevya is my clan leader. She sends her aid and her regards.
Yeah, and I think like there's probably like this thing that he's supposed to say, right? Because he's an elder, but he doesn't say that. I think he just like you feel his arm like clasping your forearm, and it says, "There's no shame in bowing your back when it's you have a storm hitting your face." And I think he just like I think he just like and then he just like starts laughing like a bit and takes like your clasps you on your back and says, "Well, how has the weather been? Tell me. It's been very bad up here, that's for sure."
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. Very awesome scene.
Oh boy, yeah, that was some scene. Oof. Well, that was the mission. So before we
got a secondary and some rewards.
Yes.
Yep. So for the secondary mission, the big question is, did the quartermaster equip the soldiers with black shot?
Yes.
All right, then we've got 2 dice. I'm so sorry, Jim.
Why do we let you roll? What is up with that?
Yeah.
We've just been rolling pants the entire game.
I think we've succeeded at like 2 secondary missions.
Well, 3 of the shattered lines die. The 3 that we just recruited, basically.
Short career.
Yeah, and so
guess,
I would like, you can decide a little bit about this. I would want to give that to you, Jim, because yes, it was me who sent the cadre. That's why I want to give you the how you got severely wounded, right? Level 3 harm. Like I want to give.
What was the nature? What was the nature of this mission again? This was like an assault.
It was an assault, yeah. To like attack the upcoming army behind us, I guess. Maybe like lay like an ambush for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I imagine probably like one of these bottlenecks, kind of trying to slow them down, while you took some time to get the civilians
on one of the bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's got to be like, he gets brought back, with like one of those long black fletched arrows, right? You know, like through his
Shoulder.
through his through, you know, like just under his clavicle, like an inch over his heart, right? You know, like the thing where like if he had moved just one, if he had twitched one direct, just one way or the other, it would have just, like it had just killed him instantly. I mean, and I think it's definitely the kind of thing where like he gets brought back to camp with it through his body, because it's got like a horrible, wicked barb that, like, if you want to pull it out, it's got to be like carefully snapped off and then, like treated for poison as it's removed, kind of thing like this.
Mm-hmm.
But like, the story is from the rookies that they like basically like had to forcibly pull his rifle from his hands and drag him away because he wanted to shoot back. And like this, I feel like this is one of those, like, we're just walking along and then it's like whunk, 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 like, 3 rookies just like, arrow through the face, arrow through the throat, one of them just like, gets an arrow through their foot that just pins them to the spot so that they can't move and just starts screaming. And it's like just like a complete, we totally got ambushed, total clusterfuck. And they had to like literally drag him out of there with an arrow through him because he wanted to shoot. He was firing blindly up into the mountains and we never even saw her. Like, cause like this like 2-1 is like a complete fucking disaster. And I feel like this is just like totally ambushed. And like that rookie screaming with the arrow through his foot, just like standing there, like we just had to leave him behind.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably some of it was like overconfidence as well. Not necessarily from the cadre, but like it would be known to these new rookies. And like maybe they even volunteered for the mission, like precisely because of who the cadre is.
That's perfect. Yeah.
So they were like, he killed a broken. Like, this is gonna be easy. And then like, no.
Well, I guess no one's gonna do that again.
So Yeah, here we thought we would be ending like on a sweet, good note, right? Oops.
That's war, man. That's how war works.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So let's do the bookkeeping.
And are there? So
Mhm.
are there other penalties, or it's just the
Yes.
the three?
Yes, there is other penalties.
Yeah. Okay.
There is +1 to time and a +1 to pressure, so it's a pretty bad one.
Fuck. Okay.
No.
Yeah. At least you get +3 morale from the supply one, so you end up with no changes in morale because of the 3 deaths. And you get the you get the 1 laborer, and the Semiati people will owe you a debt. And like I also kind of imagine actually, like as you like see this group of people going like down from the mountains, you see under in the like valley or whatever, you see the train of the Legion, which is you also see that there is not only like the Legion, there's also like this kind of caravan of people from Fort Callisto following you, I think, for the last stand. Yes, it's a new block of labor with 3 uses.
Then let's do XP.
Yeah.
Just gonna go ahead and start. So for meaty, I rolled 1 desperate action, so I got a point in prowess. Tick in prowess. I survived the mission, so that's 1. If you helped your squad by staying out of the way or surviving despite the odds. Me just like rolling 1 die on a desperate action. Yeah. So that's 2. If you brought into play your heritage or trauma. I think, yes, heritage warm, right? There was this thing, one of the highlights. There were many highlights actually this session, but this between Val and her was just I loved that, and I think that was her heritage of being warm. So that's 3. And threat level highest was 3, right?
Yeah.
So that's 6. And I think I think, and that I don't know how you think. Is this Val coming back and maybe putting in a recommendation out for Meaty to get promoted? Could that be part of like the continued resist of the Ember Wolves?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because then I'm definitely going to put 4 into the playbook, and Meaty's not going to be a rookie anymore. Cool. Who wants to go next?
I'll Russell go. Just no one else has any pressing need. Okay, so I rolled a desperate action, and I failed it, but I rolled it. So that was in prowess, wasn't it?
Yeah, because you're shooting.
Shoot.
Yeah. I survived the mission. Helped your squad through stealth and foresight. Would you say scouting out at the beginning was foresight?
You're the one who like are the judge of that, but I would say I definitely think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is one where you don't ask for permission. You just say, "I did it. I get it because of this." And unless it's outrageous, you'll probably get it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I definitely think like the moment where you did like the route instead of just climbing up was foresight for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Heritage of trauma. I don't really think so. And 3 for highest threats. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 5.
You resisted with your Panther-like grace?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Again, it's still up to you if you want to take it or not.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't. Yeah, I forgot about that. So 6. Cool. And that's me, I think. Someone wants to go next.
I can go.
Go for it, Joel.
I think I just did that one desperate action that I marked. I did survive the mission. Helped my squad through might or fortitude. I think so.
As always.
Yeah. I was drunk. Brought into play your heritage or trauma. Definitely, I think. Just Zemyati in general and being loyal. And then her highest threat of opponent faced was 3. So that's also 6. Kind of want War Machine. Might get that.
Oh yeah, seems appropriate.
All right, so for Azure, I don't think I rolled any desperate actions. I cannot recall having did that, so I don't get any desperate actions. 1 XP if I survive the mission, which I did. 1 XP if I help my squad through courage or determination, like, sliding down a slope to repeatedly hammer at a creature that had my friend in its mouth. I feel like that counts. So that's going to be, so we've got 2 there. If you brought into play your heritage or trauma, one of my Panyard traits is artisan. I had my whistle and I did the, I did the rope, that like nice rope line for all of us and stuff like that. And my fascination with the, the hawks and all that kind of stuff. I feel like that counts. So we've got 3 there. Highest level of threat is another 3. So that's total of 6. And I'm just going to immediately give her another level of grit because I feel like she earned it on this one. So.
Yeah. Oh boy. I feel my feels. Oh, oof. That was yeah.
Yeah, that was intense. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great session. So yeah, thanks to all of you for that. For our viewers, thanks for watching. I'm not quite sure when we are doing the finale.
I actually can do this next week as long as you don't mind that I'm coming in from a hotel room. I mean I can do it if everybody else is available.
Not a problem.
Yep.
Awesome. Then we'll do it's going to be the finale next week. Quite surely.
We will advance.
Yeah, I think with the time being what it is.
I mean, whatever. Yeah. Technically, are you going to advance? Yes, we're going to advance. So
yeah, cool. So yeah, we'll see the finale next week. I am super looking forward to that. I'm going to have to I haven't actually read through the whole what's going to happen during that finale because I haven't been thinking about that until now. But that's going to be a different thing. So it's going to be a cool watch for sure. So I hope you'll all be also back to watch us.
Yeah, I specifically avoided reading that section of the rulebook, so I have no idea what's involved in all of that, and so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. So
yeah, if you want to see people cry on camera, next week is the time to tune in.
Yeah,
because that's going to happen.
Oh boy. Yeah, I am not gonna say. I was pretty close already today. So to the build up. So thanks for watching. I hope to see you next week.
Outros?
Yeah. Oh yes. I am. Sorry, my brain is broken by this.
That's okay.
Yeah. I guess I can start. I am still Mikael. You can find my Twitter above here. I am planning another campaign that's going to be streamed after this. So I actually might finally have something like, yes, there's a spoiler right there. It's going to be, we're like, I mean, why are we even playing a game that's not about smooches and stuff? Because that's what we want anyway. So that's what's going to happen. So yeah, you'll probably see some information about that on my Twitter soon. So yeah, that's what I have to plug. You want to go next, Jim?
Yeah. I have Good Society. I literally just, like, while we were playing, I busted this box open, and Haley sent me more copies of it, so I'll have it for Dreamation and DexCon, which are the next two cons that I'm going to be at. I'm Jim of Jim Likes Games. My Twitter is @JimLikesGames. My website is JimLikesGames.com. I do a couple of media things. I have a bunch of actual play videos on YouTube under Jim Likes Games, and I do a podcast called Just Played, where I recap role-playing game sessions I've participated in as player or a game master. You can find that on all your major podcasters. Just Played, an RPG recap podcast. And wow, I love this game so much, and I'm gonna be so sad when it's over. But I take as solace the fact that we're gonna roll right into another game, which I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, this was a great session this week. Tom, you want to go next, maybe?
Yeah, sure. I'm Tom. Again, just happy to be here really and get chewed up by an ice dragon. Yeah, no, great game. Cheers, Carol, for running it. It's having fun.
Yeah, you want to go next, Joel?
Sure. I'm Joel Van Dyne at DyneJoel on Twitter. I have an adventure called A Place to Call Home on DM's Guild for low-level players. And I am probably going to be in that Good Society game. So if I made you cry now, imagine in a game that is specifically engineered. So yeah, looking forward to that. I'll be sad to see this game end though.
I am very much looking forward to that. Ooh, I'm going to bring my napkins. You want to go next?
Yeah, so very quickly, one, you can find me at mthsblgr on Twitter. Two, on itch.io you can find Sense of an Ending, a little supplement I made for ending PBTA games, so Fortune in the Dark games, like if you have a limited series and don't get to play the full games or get to their end games. 3, this was an awesome session. 4, Good Society, awesome game, beautiful book. And 5, this is just too perfect. The special ability Midi gets upon leveling up is called Over the Top, and it's literally when you charge into the teeth of an enemy that outnumbers or outguns you, clear 1 stress and take +1 die to maneuver. Like completely following in Val's footsteps, like she's learning from the best.
That baby's all grown up.
That seems like a perfect note to end on, this time for reals. I'll see you next week.